Welcome back, everybody, to the BETIT Sports Podcast, only for the true sports fan. We are back with another Buy or Sell, episode 2. I am JCOLE. I am joined by my regular co-host, SLUSH, and we have a special guest today, BETIT family, our international sports analyst, DZAMP, a.k.a. Dylan Zamperin, one of my oldest friends and an absolute knower of ball. Dylan, I'll let you introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Are you excited to be here today?
Dude, I'm very excited. It's been a long time wait for this. We're repping the north up here, Canada. So let's get into it.
Let's go, boys. Before we get into anything of our topics today, let's just break down what we're going to be doing today. So it is buy or sell. It's a simple concept, SLUSH and DZAMP. You're either going to buy it or you're going to sell it. If you buy it, you're agreeing with the take. So right here, obviously, all three of us are in agreement with this tweet right here from YouTube. BETIT is the best sports channel on earth. That's a buy from all three of us. If you do happen to disagree, it is a sell. Boys, let's get right into it. Our first take of the day comes from @CanadaUte, Dylan's compatriot here. He says, Luka Doncic will win MVP this year. The Don lost some weight, but will gain some hardware. I'm going to go to our special co-host, Dylan, here first. Dylan, do you buy it? Do you sell it? Give me the breakdown here.
Boys, this is a tough one. Obviously, Luka Doncic, outstanding basketball player, grew up in Slovenia, had a hard upcoming, not many opportunities out there, but as you can see, the basketball speaks for itself. And I think the one thing that was a burden on Luka's career was his weight. The Mavericks knew it. Obviously, they traded him. The Lakers didn't think it was that much of an issue. But that being said, I'm going to buy this. I think Luka Doncic is going to win MVP this year. We haven't seen him drop this much weight in a long time. Obviously, we know he has the skills. The last time he took a season very serious without many injuries, obviously that finals run with the Mavericks, where he averaged 33.9, efficient scorer from three, basically a shot creator and a shot maker. And I think with the weight change, with the assets he has beside him, LeBron James, obviously Austin Reeves, and other factors like that, I do think he'll make the jump and win the MVP this year.
I love it, DZAMP. Coming in hot with his first buy or sell of the year. He is buying Luka Doncic winning the MVP. SLUSH, you backing DZAMP here, or are you selling this take? Give me the rundown.
Yeah, I'm selling this take for sure. I don't think that we've had an MVP in the past, 20 years with as bad as a defender as Luka. So, James Harden did win, but if you put James Harden in the right scheme, he could play some good team defense. And then as far as him losing weight, I do like to see that he's in shape and taking his craft more serious. But I think a big part of Luka Doncic's game is his weight, how he's an oversized guard, and he uses it to his advantage because he's really smart with being able to be in control of his body. So I think that a big part of his game was his weight advantage. So he is a great player. He's one of the best scorers in the league. But as far as the most valuable player, I'm going to sell this take.
We're on two opposite ends of the coin here. SLUSH and DZAMP, you both make great points. Boys, I'm going to buy it here, but I'm going to go with a different angle. I think my angle with Luka Doncic winning the MVP is the market that he's in. I think he's so marketable in LA. I think if he has even close to a big season, you got a guy like Giannis who's in Milwaukee, and you got a guy, Nikola Jokic in Denver, and you got Shai Gilgeous-Alexander in Oklahoma City. Those are three small market teams. I know they've won titles in the past 5 years, but look, if Luka can come in and play an incredible brand of basketball like he's done in the past, he's already got that boost from being in LA. It's like Aaron Judge in New York. That's a huge market. If you are able to perform in a market like that, your numbers are going to be amplified to the media even more. So I think if Luka can come in, average 32, 8, and 8, I know that's a big numbers there, but I think if he can mirror some of those numbers that he's had in Dallas in years past, I think he's in the top three, and I'm going to buy this take. I don't know if he wins it outright, but he'll be in the conversation from day one. I'm going to agree with Dylan here. Let's move right on, boys. To our next take, coming from @NFL Kingdom, one that's really relevant to today's NFL. He says, Shedeur will start week 1 for the Browns after a huge preseason. Buy or sell. Boys, I let you guys have first crack at the last topic. I'm going to take the lead here. Boys, I'm going to sell this, and I'm going to sell it hard. I think I am a big fan of what Shedeur's done. I back the story. I love it. but it's a stacked quarterback room there, guys. You got veterans like Flacco, Pickett. You even got another rookie coming in Dylan Gabriel. Boys, for me, I think where I'm going with this is I think the talent from Shedeur may be the best in the room, just off of sheer raw talent and ability. I think it could be the best, but you don't see rookies start week one, even when teams are really trying to give their guys a chance. I think Flacco or Pickett is going to be the week one starter if they're healthy. I think they're going to give a veteran a chance. Slush, are you buying or selling this? I'm going to give you the crack at this one, but boys, I'm selling this take hard.
Yeah, I think it's interesting how Cleveland wants to go into the direction of having a veteran quarterback because, I mean, they're a team that's getting older, and I don't really see them competing for, pretty much anything. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I would give it to the younger guy with a lot of talent because we've seen a lot from Shedeur. He's very talented. I think he's definitely going to benefit by having a good offensive line compared to what he had down there in Colorado. He's not just going to be running out the pocket, so he'll be able to, be more comfortable in the pocket. So, will he start? I'm going to sell this. As much as I would like to see it happen, I just don't think it's realistic with the 5 quarterbacks on the roster and how much money they owe those quarterbacks. I just don't see it happening. But yeah, I'm going to sell it.
I agree. A stacked quarterback room there, and they just signed Tyler Huntley, so it's even more of a long shot that he starts. Dylan, where are you going with this one? Are you buying Shedeur starting week one, or are you selling it?
Yeah, so I'm just going to take a step back here and just look at what the Browns have done. And obviously, the big man, Myles Garrett, signed that big contract. And he did say a quarterback is coming. However, I am going to sell this take. Like you guys said, they did draft Shedeur in the later rounds of the draft. Obviously, it's a huge surprise to everybody here. They did bring in Kenny Pickett, a veteran quarterback in the league. Joe Flacco, obviously going to the Super Bowl a long time ago with the Ravens. They did bring in Huntley, like you just said. I do think it is a very competitive room. Obviously, Shedeur has the tools. We've only really seen it under his dad, so maybe a different playbook can benefit him, maybe make it worse for him. But I do think Flacco gets to start week one, just the veteran presence, gets the ball rolling. And then we'll see from there. If Flacco's obviously in his 40s, if he can't perform, he gets injured quickly, I do think Shedeur might be the next one up if it's not Kenny Pickett.
I agree, boys. All three of us are in agreement on the sell. I will say, if the tweet was Shedeur will start at some point this season, I would buy it. But week one is just too soon. You don't see a rookie starting week one, especially a 5th rounder, boys. Let's move right on to a tweet from @Mark Smith. He says, Zion stays healthy. I'm assuming he's talking about this year. Zion stays healthy and makes an all-star game and an all-NBA team. Hashtag buy or sell. Slush, you have not had the first crack yet. I'm going to give this to you first. Are you buying Zion making an all-star game and an all-NBA team, or are you selling that?
So for this one, if I could do like a conditional buy, I would, because I don't know if he can stay healthy. That's something that, it's behind the scenes, and that's the internal department. But if he is healthy, he will definitely make an all-star game this year. And, he's getting older. He's learning how to take care of his body more, I hope so. And, they made a trade. They got Jordan Poole. So I think that New Orleans, they're going to be pretty explosive, pretty good, solid young team. So, I'm going to buy this. I have faith that Zion's going to come back healthy and he'll have a breakout season. And I think Pelicans, we've seen them that when they're healthy and they play good, they go on streaks. And then once the injuries come in, it all turns bad. So I think that Pelicans are a sleeper team this year.
Slush is buying low on a revamped Pelicans team. Dylan, I'm going to go to you next. Are you buying Zion staying healthy and making the all-star game, or are you selling it?
I couldn't disagree. If anything, I would probably sell my house on this take. I'm not going to lie to you. I think the Pelicans are one of the worst organizations in pro sports. Let's just roll back with what they've done. They've traded their first-round pick next year for a rookie that is not very promising. They did trade Brandon Ingram for a bag of chips. They did trade C.J. McCollum for Jordan Poole, who's arguably terrible. And Zion hasn't had a good season in the last 4 years. Maybe you could argue the 23-24 season where he did play 70 games. And sure, he had those 22 points. He shot efficiently from 3, I guess 33%. With Zion is not the worst. He obviously has a skill set. We saw that in Duke. We saw that he's explosive. If he does stay healthy, there is a chance. I just don't think he has a supporting cast with him. They brought in DeJounte Murray. That didn't work. I just don't know if he has the star power around him to let him get those stats. And obviously, if you're like, oh, well, it's just him, he's going to get those stats. I think if you get double teamed every game, all that pressure on you to score the ball, I don't think Zion is at that point, especially after playing 30 games last year. He shot 23% from three. That's not going to get you anywhere in this league anymore.
Dylan and Slush on two opposite ends of the coin, and once again, it is down to JCOLE to make the majority decision. And boys, I'm going to go out on a limb here. I'm going to buy it. You know what? I think Zion's fat ass is getting himself into the gym. He's staying out of the strip clubs. I think he is staying off the Kentucky Fried Chicken. And Dylan, I loved your point about the supporting cast not being there, but I think he can put up 30 shots a game. And if he puts up 30 shots a game, I'd be willing to bet my ass he'd score 40. So you know what? I think he's going to average big numbers this year. I think the NBA All-Star Game voting has been more so about cumulative stats rather than efficiency. I mean, just look at some of the MVPs from years past. You got some chuckers in there. And I love Russell Westbrook, but he is not exactly the prime example of efficiency. So I think Zion, if he does stay healthy, like Slush, I would love to do kind of a contingency buy where if he does stay healthy, he makes the All-Star game. But I think he is going to stay healthy. I think he's had some off-the-court drama with his baby mama and the 8 other women that he is with. So I think Zion can put all that behind him. I think he can stay on the court. I think he can stay out of the strip club and out of the fast food restaurants. And I think Zion comes back, and if he averages 26 to 27 like we've seen him do before in those short stints, I think he can play half a season, and I think he can make the All-Star game. I think the All-NBA team is a little bit of a stretch, but look, we talked about it in a video prior. If Zion is on the court and healthy, he's one of those guys similar to a Giannis where he can create his own shot by just driving down the lane and being a bowling ball. I think even if he is being double teamed, he can create his own offense. He's such a good finisher at the rim, and that's so rare for a guy of his stature. Guys, it's a really, really off-the-wall take. I think it's a hot take from Mark Smith here, but I'm going to buy super low on the Pelicans and Zion, and I think he makes the All-Star game, boys.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, so with Zion, it's usually he gets injured, and then the next year he plays 60 to 70 games. So it's basically off and on with him. And I think that Zion, he could, come back motivated and try to, give it his all before the deadline and get shipped off. So you never know, but we'll see. I have faith that Zion's going to have a good season.
I agree. I think there was great points on both sides. I think Zion is coming to an area where he's going to want to get paid too. So I think if he continues to stay off the court, the money's not going to come in, and there's going to be no money left to buy any Kentucky Fried Chicken, boys. Let's move right on to our next take. Coming from @Yankees for Life. This is a big one, boys. This is a big, big take. Shohei Otani is the most influential athlete of the last 10 years. Buy or sell? Once again, I am going to our guest co-host, DZAMP. DZAMP, are you buying this take, or are you selling that Shohei Otani is the most influential athlete of the last 10 years?
Well, this is a very interesting one. Obviously, we've never seen an athlete like Shohei Otani before, other than maybe Babe Ruth back 100 years ago. Him being the most influential athlete in the last 10 years, I am going to sell that take. I do think that belongs to LeBron James. Just going over Otani, he is an international player, obviously an American market. He doesn't really speak the language, but obviously his skills speak for itself. Like I said, I do think it's LeBron James. We obviously had the decision about 10 years ago for him to go to Miami. He won all those championships in his hometown. All the young kids grew up idolizing LeBron James. Obviously, his passion and determination has gone to where he is today. Like I said, I do think Otani is a great player. I just don't think that his presence is as influential as a guy like LeBron James.
Super fair take, Dylan. I think you make a lot of great points. I think Shohei is an incredible ball player. But Slush, I'm going to go to you next here. Are you buying or are you selling this take?
This is a tricky one. If it was the most talented player, then I would say without a doubt that's a buy. But I mean, Shohei, He's been pretty influential. I mean, the way that he structured his contract, I mean, I think that we're going to see a lot more of that in the future, where you could defer the money out past the contract to help the team, build more talent. So, I mean, I think that could definitely change the way that contracts are structured. And I mean, he got caught up in a gambling scandal too. So I mean, like, that's pretty influential. That's all you see nowadays: professional athletes getting caught up in gambling. But
He was the first one to do it.
I believe, yeah, he was. He said it all. So I think that the most influential player is probably Stephen Curry, because I mean, he changed the way that the NBA is played. I mean, people are picking up at half court and motion offense and homegrown star with 4 rings. So I'm gonna sell this take.
Slush, great points there. Once again, boys, this is why I hate going last, because you two provide the best analysis and you take every single one of my points. When I was going to go here, I kid you not, is the two most influential athletes in my mind are Steph Curry and LeBron James. I think those are two incredible points, guys. I'm going to sell this right off the bat. But I think if it was most influential baseball player of all time, I think it goes to Shohei Otani, to be quite honest with you, because if you look at what he's done for the international game, walk around Los Angeles, walk around any part of the United States, and I guarantee you, you will see a Shohei Otani jersey. And I think when people first saw that contract come out, where it was like, I'm not exactly sure what the figure was. I think it was 500, 600 million, something like that. I guarantee you the Dodgers have recouped that in jersey sales alone. And for that, I would say he is the most influential baseball player of all time. People are wanting to hit and pitch, play both sides just to be like Otani. He's a unicorn, man. I think in the international market, you see guys like Clay go over and sign deals with Anta and stuff like that. And then you go over and see their presence in Japan and China and places like that in these Asian countries. And it's incredible. But now you get a star from Japan. He has that whole country backing him, a massive, massive country. And now he has fans growing all over the world. He's incredibly influential. I think to call him the most influential athlete, I don't think that's correct. I think that's a sell, because here's the thing. Look at social media, guys. You guys talked about two of the greatest basketball players of all time, but I'll give you two examples from another sport. Cristiano Ronaldo and Lionel Messi, two of the biggest followings in all of sports. Just look at social media alone, and he blows those guys out of the water. I think Shohei is the best player in baseball. I think he's the most influential baseball player of all time. But guys, this says athlete, not baseball player. So I am going to sell this. Let's move right on, boys. To our last take of the day, coming from @JC9. He says, this is an old head take. The NBA was far better in the 2000s than it is today. Far better, in all caps. Boys, I'm going to take the lead on this one because you guys stole all my juice in the last take. Right off the bat, I'm going to buy this, boys. I am going to buy this. I think the NBA, just look at the playoffs and the finals, even this down to the smallest thing, the graphics and the commercials and the pre-hype before the series. It was all just better. And maybe that's just nostalgia talking to me. I think the superstars were better. I would argue that the 2010s were better than the 2000s even, but I think the 2000s are better than the 2020s. The 2010s to me, maybe because I was just growing up as a kid, playing 2K16 in my bedroom with Dylan over here. It was the golden era of basketball. We had homegrown stars, Kyrie and LeBron going up against Clay and Steph, the two powerhouses. And even in the early 2000s, you had the Tim Duncan-led Spurs, the Shaq and Kobe Lakers, the bad boy Pistons, the second generation. So many great teams, and free agency hadn't taken over yet, where it was like you could build super teams. This was an all homegrown thing. I just think the NBA was more hard-nosed. There was less of like a foul baiting thing going on, and I'm not a big Shai Gilgeous-Alexander hater, but the NBA was just more pure basketball to me. It wasn't like guys trying to figure out holes in the system and baiting refs into calling fouls. It was more so like just hard-nosed basketball. I don't mean to sound like an old head either, but I love that brand of basketball more. I love the teams. I love the uniforms. I love the commentary. I loved how ESPN made the games look and sound. I'm going to buy this wholeheartedly, boys. Slush, I'm going to go to you first. What are you thinking on this one? Is this a buy or sell, man?
Yeah, I agree. I really like your analysis. I'm gonna buy this take. I definitely think that the NBA back then in the 2000s was much better than it is today. From not just from, like, I would say it's better, but now I would say that people are getting smarter in the aspect how they know how to, kind of like rig the game. They know. I like how you mentioned the foul baiting. It's turning into pretty much a foul baiting league, and the defense is nowhere to be found.
Yep.
So yeah, but the NBA, that's how it is. It has cycles and waves, and the eras always change. But I find myself getting into it with old heads on Twitter a lot. Just trying to stick up for my generation of sports, and then they always come up with some crazy stats, and it's like whether it's viewership or awards or anything like that. So yeah, I mean, I think like a player like Draymond Green, for example. I mean, him back in the 2000s, he would have been perfectly fine. He would have fit in perfect. But nowadays, like you're getting suspended for nonsense. So I mean, I don't like the direction that the NBA is heading in. I think we need like a David Stern back, or a new commissioner to kind of bring that NBA fire back. So yeah, I'm gonna buy this take for sure.
I agree, Slush. 2 buys from JCOLE and Slush. Dylan, coming up in the rear, our last take of the day for our guest host. And before you even get into it, Dylan, I just wanted to thank you for being here. You have been absolutely elite. But before I say anything else, Dylan, are you buying or selling this take about the 2000s NBA?
Well, first I want to say I appreciate you letting me on the show. It's been an honor. And I'm going to go out with a bang, and I'm going to sell this take. The NBA is better now than the past, and I will tell you why. Social media has blown this thing up, all right? We got Anthony Edwards. We got Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Just a bunch of young talent that has entered the league out of nowhere. You watch them as soon as they get drafted. You see how they develop. Back in the day, yeah, sure, you're watching the draft, but you couldn't really keep up. So I really like that aspect of the game. You got small market teams making the finals, OKC and the Pacers. It's really growing the game. It's getting people involved. And I think just the talent it's progressing even more. I feel like the 3-ball has obviously played a big role in the NBA. And you mentioned the foul baiting. I'd like to argue that James Harden was doing that in 2018 when he won the MVP. I think it's just a part of the game. Sure, the NBA should adjust to it. Maybe keep the whistle in their pocket a little bit more. But when you mention guys coming out of the draft with their speed, their agility, Zion Williamson, like we've already gone in this, Giannis, things like that, just exploding at the top of their game. And you don't really need that big of a support cast anymore. I feel like back in the day, obviously we had that super team with the Celtics, which was the first super team, and then obviously against the Warriors and the Cavaliers. Sure, it was a little more simpler back in the day, but I feel like that just makes it better. You want to see the best of the best play the best, and I just feel like the league has evolved, and it's going to continue to evolve, and then in the next 10 years we'll be discussing that, damn, maybe this was really the time to watch the NBA.
I agree, Dylan. I think you make a lot of great points. And the one thing I will say to backtrack on me and Slush's points, the thing is, guys, in the early 2000s, all 3 of us were sperm in our dad's nutsack. So for us to be talking about the 2000s NBA, we're not the greatest officials on that. I think the NBA is great today. It's great in the 2000s. I think the golden era was that mid-2010s when we were all growing up. I think we can all agree, being Warriors and Raptors fans, both of our teams got championships. So it really was a golden age. But let's end it off right there, boys. I know I want to see more of DZAMP on the channel. Slush, it's great to have you as my co-host, as always. Boys, I am JCOLE. Thank you to Dylan for joining us. It was probably, I know it's only been 2, but this has been our best episode. We are BETIT. We'll be back with another buy or sell soon. We'll have Dylan back on the channel. Make sure you guys show some love to DZAMP down in the comments. Thank you, Dylan. Thank you, Slush. We are BETIT, and we are out.